Inner happiness, I think, is just like being able to like look at yourself, but know that you're a kind, giving, thoughtful friend, person, and boss, or whoever you are, you're just a good person to the core. Also, that you're taking care of your body, eating right, working hard, and doing the best that you can every day.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to another incredible episode of Happiness from Within. I am beyond ecstatic for today's guest. I met this incredible young woman. Her name is Gaby from Sparkl Fashion, and she is on a beautiful mission helping women to feel beautiful on the inside outside. I met her in Santa Monica and got a really cool jacket. Plan on going back, but I'm gonna actually let her share her story, kind of where it all started, and yeah, just for her to share her. So I actually have her here on the line. Hi, Gaby.
Hi, I'm great. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Good, good. We really want to thank you for being a guest here on Happiness from Within. Our mission here is to help, humanity to basically come out of the darkness and into the light, but just to really touch people's hearts and souls at a deep level. I mean, when I walked into your store, I was just like, wow, like this is something really special. You're
Oh,
doing
thank
something
you.
amazing. So, yeah, so tell us a little bit about where did all this start? Like or let's go back a little bit if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Where are
of
you from?
course.
Are you an LA girl or?
I actually was born and raised in Hawaii. In Kauai, I grew up in Kauai, the island of Kauai, and then we moved to Maui when I was like 7. So I've always been like island girl, but always wanted more. I've always known that I wanted to be in fashion and have my own fashion company. So when I was in high school, like about 12, probably like 13 or 14, I started applying to fashion colleges and got early acceptance by 15. So I already knew where I was going my junior year of high school. And then when I was 17, I moved out to Los Angeles, where I started my first year at FIDM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. That was a really great place to start for me. It definitely gave me a lot of knowledge, but at the same time, they kind of like filter you into a world of being a manager, being a sales associate. And I was like so pumped to like get into the job scene there and like start making moves. And I just kind of saw through the system that they're kind of like training a lot of the fashion students. And unfortunately, a lot of them fall under and into just being not achieving the dream that they initially started out. So I dropped out when I was almost 18, and I started my company, Sparkl. And at that time, it was only a bikini wear company. Like I only did swimsuits. From there, I actually didn't, once I had made my first collection, I didn't know where to start selling my bikinis. So I made a website and I was like trying to sell bikinis, but when you don't really have a following, people don't really know about your brand yet, you really need to just go out there and do it. So I decided to go down to Venice Beach Boardwalk and like build a little pop-up shack thing there on the beach and right on the boardwalk. And I just started going down there like 4 days a week and selling my bikinis. I sell like 2 or 3 bikinis a day, and at that time that was like huge for me. Slowly, actually, a few people kind of discovered me on the boardwalk, so they invited me to a couple of trade shows. And then by that time I was like expanding my designs. I was getting into different boutiques that were carrying my line. And then I picked up one of my bigger wholesale accounts that really started bringing me to the next level. And so it's been a really crazy journey for the past 7 years and an amazing learning experience. Definitely like with a lot of failures, but also tons of successes. And now, fast forward 7 years later, and I have my own shop on the promenade in Santa Monica, California. So it's definitely been a very cool journey.
Wow. Where does this drive come from? I mean, wow, starting a business so young, where did that come from?
I've always been very ambitious. I've always had a really strong work ethic as well. So, no, that's not for me. Sorry. I've always had a very strong work ethic. And actually, at the age of 13, I dropped off my resume at like a China bistro and came back home. And I was like, hey, mom and dad, like I got a job. I've always just wanted like the next thing. I was never really interested in, like wasting time or like doing things that weren't gonna like benefit my future. And also like creating, like I would rather, instead of just sit around and you know, not like think of where I want to be in the future. I'd rather, you know, do little things that will help meet my better self later on. So that I'm not really sure where the drive comes from. I just know that I was born to be this way. I guess that's how I feel about it.
No, that's beautiful. I mean, that's you following your inner intuition, which is the most beautiful thing that anyone can do. And so I applaud you for that. I mean, that's amazing. It's really, really,
Thank
truly
you.
amazing. I
Yeah, I
mean,
do think that I am special in the way that did figure out what I wanted to do so young, and I want people to know that it's never too late to figure out what you want to be or what you want to do, or the dreams that you've always been like, oh, I want to do that, you know, instead of just saying you want to do it, it's like actually like commit to what it is that you want to make happen, and, you know, just break it down and make it easier for you to digest and like make it really fun. I mean, it's not always fun. It's definitely really stressful, but once you like overcome those little hurdles and stuff like that, like then the end goal is so worth it. And then, you know, you just do those little things day by day, and it doesn't seem like you're doing much, but then, you know, a month goes by, 2 months goes by, and you're like, dang, I'm making moves. You know, so
that's incredible. Do you still have a location in downtown Los Angeles?
yeah, so actually I kind of skipped through that. So when I was doing the boardwalk thing, selling my bikinis on Venice Beach Boardwalk, I actually had this vision to create an immersive experience for girls and guys and whoever, trans, everyone's welcome, to come and feel transformed into, you know, the brand as well, out wearing the clothing. So I wanted to open up my space as an opportunity and creative space for people to do photo shoot, you know, come and get their custom clothes made, as I was like a bespoke company for probably 4 or 5 years until I opened the store. We had like little inventory runs here and there, but for the majority, we made everything to order. So like this really fun environment, and people would walk in and they're like, I kind of like the feeling you got when you came into my store, but times 10, because it's like all my art. You know, I love creating art and I love doing interiors. Those were my other 2 passions, but to stick with one thing and fashion and just make that really, really good. And then once this is soaring and I can delegate, then I can go back to making my art full time and doing interiors. But yeah, you should look it up. It's on my website, actually, sparklefashion.com. And then it's called the Sparkl Palace. And even if you just type that into Google, it will pop up and you'll be able to see all the interior photos and rent it by the hour.
Wow, that's amazing. That's something new. I didn't realize that was an
Yeah, that's
extension of your.
actually how it all started. You know, I mean, I
Wow.
wanted to merge all the loves of my life, which is fashion, interiors, design, and then events. And I just really like making people feel magical. So even if my clothes are not your style, or my shoes or my accessories, at least you get to come in and still experience the fairy world and be a fairy without actually having to, you know, wear the clothes. You still support the lifestyle, you know?
Mm, wow, that's amazing.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. My next question for you is, can you share a time? I mean, I know there's many, as you said, but can you share a time of something hardship that you had, either
Yeah.
personal or in your life, and how you overcame it and what you learned from it?
Yeah. Well, the Sparkle Palace is a perfect example. I had just moved out here. I was actually, when I was doing the pop-ups on the beach, I was in like a rent controlled apartment, $700 a month, very small, whatever. I was definitely like getting by, able to pay my bills, but I had this vision to really take things to the next level. So I found 1,600 square foot loft that was like 3,200 a month, and that is what I decided to build the Sparkle Palace in. So like I knew I didn't really have enough money to fully sustain myself, but I believed so strongly in the vision. I was like, I'm just gonna figure it out. That was like maybe one of the biggest mistakes, but also I wouldn't take it back for anything. But just not being financially secure and kind of just not knowing exactly what's going on with your business, or like digging yourself into debt is never fun. So like that was a huge nightmare to like get out of, because if you miss one rent payment with a space that costs that much, it's just like you can dig yourself into a hole really fast. And luckily I was like I always cut it really close to the wire, but I always figured it out. But I would say that was probably the most stressful thing, was just being able to maintain the level up of what I decided to do.
That's amazing. I love what you said, that you just figured it out. You have such a bright, just very clear, like you're very in control of your mind. And
Thank you.
that's, yeah, you're welcome. No, that takes, I mean, to build the business that you have that's just growing, even despite everything that's going on, right, in this world, like,
Yeah.
it's just can tell you're a very, like, just strong-headed young woman. And for
Thank
somebody
you.
that,
And it's also asking the universe for what you really want to happen and what you need, I mean, I poured every cent of my money into this. I was like spending it all on rhinestones and fabric and having better seamstresses than me. Like, I'm the designer, of course, but in order to like project the brand the way that I wanted it to be perceived, I just had to hire people to help me, and just making sure my employees were always taken care of, even if maybe I couldn't pay my bills, those kinds of things are really important. And, asking for the universe to find someone to believe in you as well. Like, once you've put in all the work, maybe having an investor come in, or someone who believes in the brand that wants to help it grow, or whatever, but you definitely have to put in tons of work to get it to that point.
it's interesting how you were saying earlier about, because a lot of my listeners are women,
Oh, great.
entrepreneurs.
Love it.
It's never about having it figured out, right? You just,
Yeah, what I think is the big problem that I find with like a lot. I mean, maybe it's not a problem, but it's also something that I've seen holds a lot of my friends and loved ones back, is like their perfectionist attitude, or their mentality of like, well, it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. Well, nothing's ever gonna really be 100% perfect, and you can always get better. But if you hold on to things like projects or designs and stuff like that, and you wait so long to put them out, sometimes they become irrelevant or not as impactful as they could have been at that time. If you put it out, maybe it's not the best that it could be, but once it's out, you can always fix it. And then you get feedback from people as well on what can be better. So that's kind of my philosophy on that.
so do you design all of the clothing, right, for your brand?
Yeah, I actually was making all the patterns myself as well. Everything goes through me. So I just kind of have just recently I have like hired an assistant, and like sales associates, but that's basically it. I mean, I did my website, I did all the sourcing, I've done all of the buying, emailing, basically everything is run by me, and it definitely takes a certain kind of brain to do it.
Absolutely. So I saw on your Instagram that you've actually had some celebrities in your store. Is that correct?
We've dressed Paris Hilton, Selena Gomez, and then Nikita Dragon. We have a lot of like influencers and stuff like that have also have worn Sparkl as well.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we were actually the cover twice with Paris Hilton for Galore magazine back in, oh God, I don't even know, 2016 and 2017.
Wow, congratulations. So I know this is a short interview, but what you've shared so far has been so impactful. I just had a few more questions I wanted to ask
Of course.
to the young woman that's listening to this, that has a business that they want to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of piece of, just anything you'd like to share from your heart, like what advice would you give to that young woman listening right now that has this burning passion?
Yeah, I would say, first off, write down your goals and the business that you want to build, and then work your way backwards, and think about all the things that you need to do to get there. So don't like overwhelm yourself. You can do it. You can do anything that you want. And it's just all about the way that you look at it and your perspective on building what you want.
I love that, working your way backwards. Love it.
Yeah. Baby steps, baby steps.
Absolutely. What inspired you with the fairies and the unicorns? Because I'm a very big fairy and unicorn. I would love to hear this side of the story.
Yeah, I love the fairies are the air, the mermaids are the sea, and the unicorns are the ocean. I'm not very like, I'm spiritual in my own way, but not like super earthy, like you know, down to the ground hippie, but I do love all the colors in nature. And actually the way that the colors that I was most inspired by is by sunrise and sunset. And that is just what I see as the color palette that I want to wear all the time. It's like baby pink, baby blue, white, lilac, you know, and then obviously the iridescent colors. But each of those colors, other than white, also stand for those three pillars that I mentioned that we like stand for. So like usually the fairies pink, unicorns purple, and then the mermaids the blue. So that's kind of the story behind the colors and why we're the fairies, mermaids, and unicorns.
No, I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you for
We're
sharing
also
it.
magical AF, but we already know that.
Oh, I mean, because those are my favorite colors too. I love the blue and the pink. I mean, it's, I just love it.
Thank you, babe. Also, you know, it's a lot of people, it's not that they dress the same, but a lot of people have fallen into this like nude all black color palette. And I feel like you really get seen. People really see who you are inside when you wear the colors that you feel on the inside. That makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. So what are one or two things like, you know, I guess in the next year, like in the future, like what you want to open another location or
Oh yes, of course.
what do you want to
I
manifest?
have huge plans. I'm building a Sparkl empire. So I'm actually working on kids clothes right now, menswear, and baby like mommy daughter kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're also on the probably in the next 6 months we'll release more shoes, my new handbag collection, and then also I have a jewelry that I've been working on. My 5-year goal would be to just be cranking really hard on the website and hitting all of the numbers that I want, and probably getting known more internationally. I'd like to do maybe like a Sparkle Palace pop-up tour, or I don't know if you've ever heard of the ice cream museum.
I haven't.
Have you? Okay. Well, it's kind of like, it's an immersive experience, but it's, instead of it like being in someone's loft or apartment, it would be like a museum style. So basically people could buy tickets for every 30 minutes or you could rent it out for longer or whatever, but you can go in with, you know, a group of 5 people, by yourself, whatever. There's photographers there, and there's probably like 5 to 10 different style rooms and all these different places that you can take photos in. So it's basically like an Instagram-able moment, or like, you know, create content. So I'd love to open something like that with a Sparkle gift shop, and maybe do it in a couple of the major cities like, you know, Tokyo, London, New York, something like that. And then my 10-year goal would be to open the Sparkle Hotel with all the fashion and the sparkliest, cutest hotel you've ever seen.
Wow, that's amazing.
But we're only focused on right now, but that is what you can see from me in the future.
That's amazing. How have things been for you this year in 2020?
I say it was a blessing and also like sucked at the same time. I felt very grateful that we got we didn't get much relief from the government, but that was kind of nice for having us being shut down. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we have really cool landlords that were willing to work with us. Otherwise, I think we definitely would have closed the store. But it was honestly a really nice break to be able to like collect my thoughts, get reorganized, and I didn't stop working, you know. I was just planning things out. So now we're all caught up and on actual time for what the way that fashion should be released. You know, I'm already working on my winter collection for next year. So I am really sad for all of seeing everyone else around the store though. Like the restaurants are definitely taking a huge hit. It's definitely slowed down like our sales. I mean, like November and December it would be so packed in here, you know, but then they just shut it down again. So it's a little frustrating that they keep shutting it down, but I think overall we made it a positive experience.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. This is 2 more questions for you. How do you want to be remembered when you take your last breath?
As the Sparkle Fairy mermaid unicorn princess that I am.
Woo!
No one better bury me in the ground, and everyone better dress fabulous as AF to my funeral.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. I love it. What does happiness from within mean to you?
Inner happiness, I think, is just like being able to like look at yourself, but know that you're a kind, giving, thoughtful friend, person, and boss, or whoever you are, you're just a good person to the core. Also that you're taking care of your body, eating right, working hard, and doing the best that you can every day.
That's wonderful. Are there just anything from your heart, any last minute words of encouragement, and then where people can find you before we wrap up?
There's nothing that you can't do. So just make your dreams a reality and start creating. My name's G Sparkle, aka, well, it's more AKA G Sparkle. My full name's Gaby. And you can find me at sparklefashion.com. Sparkle is spelled without the E. So it's SPARKL fashion.com. I really look forward to maybe hearing from some of you guys. And also, if you guys want to come and shop at the store or check out the online store or even the Sparkle Palace, I'd love to have you. So keep dreaming, keep creating, and I hope you guys have a fabulous evening.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Gaby. I wish you a beautiful evening. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.